Big man thing, yeah? It's not looking good, bruv. It's not looking good.
What up, what up? Welcome to another OSCP update. I am very tired, so this is going to be a quick one, hopefully. I am at a random window because I didn't even want to set up lights and clean up my background with all that stuff. But there are a few things I want to touch on, so let's get straight into it. Firstly, I am very, very tired. Tired of a lot of things. OSCP, having to make YouTube videos, having to study for other things, other projects I'm trying to work on, school, gym because I play sport. It's taking a toll on me. So I am very tired. And at the point where I'm at in the labs, it's taking a lot longer to root a machine, right? From the enumeration to the exploitation, privacy, information gathering, just the whole life cycle, just the whole cycle of pen testing. It's taken a lot longer. I'm at a point where I've rooted 35 machines, right? And I think there's 70 machines in the labs. So I'm like 50% done with the labs. And I've gone through randomly, and I think I've done most of the easy machines. And now it's just only medium and hard boxes. And when it comes to medium and hard boxes in the OSCP labs, either the enumeration is going to be very hard, right? And then you get a shell as the root user. Or the enumeration is easy. You get a shell as like www data or something like 5 minutes. And the previous is extremely difficult, right? It takes a while. So that's where I'm at in terms of the number of labs or machines I've rooted. And so it's just taking a lot longer to root machines. And it's exhausting, to be honest. It is exhausting. One thing I would like to rant about in these labs is also the fact that you have to revert machines a whole lot, way too much. There was a machine I was working on yesterday. I thought I was doing the wrong thing until I went to the forums for the machine, and someone said they had to revert the machine 15 times before the exploit actually worked. Firstly, how did they know that they had to keep reverting? I have no clue, right? Of course, you know when a box is broken, right? But 15 times. And the thing is, you can't revert a machine 5 minutes after it's already been reverted. So you have to wait 5 minutes and then revert it again. So imagine 15 times 5 minutes. That is a lot of minutes. That is a lot of time you're wasting. And you could justify the fact that you're working on a machine, you might be making progress, but you don't really know if you have to revert the machine 15 times. Someone said they did it like 10 times without changing any sort of exploit code or anything. How would you know that's the actual exploit if it's not going to work like the first 1 or 2 times? Imagine reverting 10 times before it actually works. How did you know that was the exact exploit? That's the thing. Some of these machines are CTF type machines, and that's why people end up complaining that the OSCP is like CTF type, because you have to do things, solve puzzles that you never have to solve in the actual real world. But I think that's just them trying to insert that try harder mentality in you. But sometimes trying harder is dumb, bruh. 15 times, 15 reverts. No, I left it. I just skipped over it. And so having done like 35 machines in the labs, and since I said it's now taking longer to root a machine, I think I've reached the point where the try harder mentality is kicking in, right? The slow grind, right? The part that you have to show grit to keep going. It's not just gonna be some, oh, you can put a box, you can do like 3 boxes a day, which I used to do like a few weeks back. I would do like 2 boxes a day, maybe one. And now you're taking one day, not, and now you're taking like 3, 4 days to do a machine, right? That's if you decide not to get help. But at some point, you still have to find that balance between getting help and making progress on your own, right? Know how to enumerate, know how to fix exploits, know how to write your own stuff just to make it work, right? Know how to use your tools. And so I think at this phase is where a lot of people are lost, right? This is where we lose most of the comrades, where things start to get hard, where you have to keep trying harder. And I see it. I read or I saw a video of someone saying that at this point where like you've done like half the machines in the lab, and it's just a slow grind to keep going on. It's taking longer to do a machine. Someone suggested doing a dry run of the exam, which is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Don't do that. It's a waste of time and money. It's a lot of money that you have to spend on an exam retake. Imagine doing a dry run when you're not actually prepared, when you haven't reached that mental state whereby you think you are prepared. I mean, you could never be fully prepared, but there's a state where you get, and you're like, okay, I think I can try it. And then you do a dry run just to fail and feel like trash because you failed. It doesn't make sense to me, right? I don't think dry runs make sense. And I wouldn't do a dry run. I'm trying to prepare as much as I can, right? As soon as my lab expires in a month, I'm going to be doing TJ and all list, hopefully all of it. Depending on the time, I'll be starting college in the fall, so it's a lot. I won't even lie. It's a lot. Tired, bro. I'm tired. It's not looking good.
It's not looking good.
But as I was saying, at this stage is where I think we lose a lot of brothers. So you just got to keep trying harder, right? And smarter as well. It's not just about working hard and trying hard. It's about working smart and trying smarter, right? Automate a lot of things. You're allowed to write your own scripts for scanning, taking notes, and all that, right? As long as you don't use the stuff that's not allowed in the exam. But once you begin to automate some of your processes, things become quicker and easier, which is something I'm learning to do. I'm also taking a lot better notes, right? Notes are getting better, they're getting cleaner, they're getting more useful, because sometimes, like when I started, the notes if I look back at my notes, I would like have 3 lines for a machine, 3. The link to the exploit, maybe your username and a password, and just saying run this exploit and it'll work, which doesn't make sense. You actually need to take notes, your information gathering, your scanning, all that jazz, the enumeration, the exploitation, the POC, you have to have it on hand, right? So that if you want to go back to something, it works. One thing I would also like to mention about going back to a machine is I have a couple of machines that I started and then I had to stop because I had to like leave the house or do something else. And when you go back to a machine and you try recreate your steps, it doesn't work for some sense. It makes no sense at all. You revert the machine 10 times, knowing you did this before, and it's still not working. How does that make any sort of sense? To me, it doesn't. And it's very frustrating. It's one thing I really don't like about labs. I also have a friend who needed help with something, right? He thought he was doing something wrong, but he wasn't. I'd done a machine, and then he asked me if I did it. I'm like, yeah, bro, I did the machine. And he's like, what did you do? Sent him screenshots, sent him the commands I ran. And he's like, bro, I'm doing the exact same thing, but it's not working. And so it really doesn't make sense that sometimes it's a hit or miss, right? You think you're doing the wrong thing and you're doing the correct thing, but it's not your fault. So how would you know? That's a very big problem there. Shared labs aren't as great. That's one thing to note. But in my last video, I mentioned that Prevesc was a bit of a challenge. I think I'm getting better at it. I mean, taking notes makes it easier, right? Having a strict methodology, do this first, do that, and taking notes on that, it makes it easier. So that's what I'm focused on. So I'd give myself a solid 4 out of 10 for my Prevesking skills. And then maybe information gathering, I'll give myself an 8. I'm pretty solid at that now. I can identify the path for exploitation pretty quickly, right? And then for actual exploitation to get the initial shell, maybe a 7 out of 10. Prevesk, I put myself at a 4. So I don't know. I don't know how we stand so far. What else did I want to say? My lab time expires in a month, right? So we have just over 30 days to do as much as we can. depending on how this month goes, I might either invest a lot more time into the OSCP and the labs, which means less YouTube videos, less projects on my end, like side projects, less gym, right? Which is a bad thing because I look like I'm getting fat. I can't even see my jawline anymore. But either I do that or I take it easy. It's not a marathon. I mean, it's not a sprint. It's more like a marathon because it's the goal is not just the OSCP. It's to get better at hacking in general. So I might take a step back, take it easy, and then eventually get an extension at some point. But I already spent 1,499 on that thing. Imagine getting an extension, doing a dry run, and then getting like, bruh, spare yourself some money. Please, that's just my opinion, but it is what it is. I'll decide depending on how this month goes. But that is the update. Half the machines done in the lab. Out of 10, I'd say I am at a 6 in terms of being ready for the exam. AD is down. Like I said, the PNPT would help you with that, and I think I'm solid in terms of AD. The problem would just be getting the shell on the machine, right? And then pivoting, easy stuff, basic stuff. My battery just died. This rant has turned out to be a lot longer than I thought it would be. So I'm gonna just end it here. Like I said, I think I'm at a 6 out of 10 in terms of preparedness for the exam. When I'm at an 8.5 is when I'm actually gonna take the exam. But the other 2 points to get up there, it's not gonna be easy. So there's a lot of work to be done. But that's the update for now. I will catch you in another video if I actually do make another video. I'm very tired, but it is what it is. I'll see you in the next one.